Welcome to the CorpVault channel. In our previous video, we discussed Commvault Process Manager, Commvault Services, TCP ports used by them, etc. In this video we will discuss how to administer the Commvault services and other available options. Please like, share, comment or suggest. Subscribe for more videos, and you can follow us on Instagram. In our last video, we stopped discussing Logging tab in the Process Manager. Let's discuss Troubleshooting tab. Enabling Windows error reporting. You can enable this error reporting for all Windows clients in the CommCell environment. In the dump folder box, enter a path and a name for the dump folder. These memory dump files are read-only text files. In the dump count box, enter the number of dump files to retain in the dump folder. Click Save to start the dump process. Here is a live scenario. CVD process was crashing and we received this pop-up in Windows, so we enabled Windows error reporting, collected the crash dumps, and opened a ticket with vendor Commvault. Collecting diagnostic data. To help in troubleshooting issues, you can collect diagnostic data using this collect option, or by executing commands from the command line. You can set a different folder for collecting gxadmin dump output, or choose to use the default path listed. Before we discuss how to administer services, let's check the service dependencies. When a system has more than one CommCell component, the service dependencies are as seen. This is the service action, and this is what's affected. Let's discuss how to administer services. You can manage a service start using gxadmin utility. It is located under base folder. This is the command usage. This is the command to create process dump using command line interface. You can kill Commvault process using this command. These are the commands to start, stop, restart, disable a particular service. You have various options like kill, no kill, set timeout, when the process does not respond in default timeout interval. These are the commands to start, stop, restart, disable a particular service group. Here as well, you have various options like no kill, set timeout, when the process does not respond in default timeout interval. You can set Commvault services in auto start, or manual start via command line. Sometimes you might want to disable this option, but you see the checkbox is disabled. In that case use this command. If you have Commvault Live Sync configured in your environment, then these options would be very useful. You can enable, or disable, Windows error reporting from command line as well. Let's discuss how these commands are useful for day-to-day backup operations using a use case. There are several use cases, but this one looks to be common. Let's say you have 3 media agents in a grid, and are running deduplicated backups with partitioned DDB. If one media agent goes down, I mean it was shut down, due to Microsoft pending reboot activity during backup window without notice, then all backups running via that media agent get affected. There might be a possibility that the DDB might go corrupt, and go for reconstruction after the server is back online. Or there is a tape library connected to the media agent, whose SCSI reservations to the tape drives get stuck, due to server reboot. What if we can use the commands, and script them in a way that before the server goes down, it has to run the script and perform some activities? Please note some commands requires Q login, so please ensure to use a service account whose password never expires, or else you might run into issues. Also, these commands need to be run from base folder in command line interface. What is expected from the commands? We catalogued a few actions which seems important, but you can edit as required in your environment. Before reboot of the server, the prescript should be invoked which will suspend all jobs running via the media agent. Mark media agent as offline for maintenance in Commvault GUI. Resume all suspended jobs running via the media agent, so they can start running via other media agents in the grid. Gracefully stop all Commvault services running on the media agent. Once all the tasks are successfully completed, the server then go ahead with the reboot process. Optionally, you can also add a command for an alert or email to be triggered once all the prescript commands are successfully executed. Here are the commands for the tasks we discussed. Ensure the login token file is created with the service account. If needed, you can export the command output to a log file for review or analysis. After the server is successfully rebooted, there is one task that has to be done, that is, to bring the media agent out of maintenance in the Commvault GUI. Sometimes the server might take a long time to reboot, so it's better to write a post-reboot script. The script will unmark a media agent as offline for maintenance in Commvault. Here is the command for it. By this way you can be rest assured the backups are not impacted, nor the DDB, as the actions are fully automated. Likewise, you can also create pre-post scripts for the CommServe. These scripts can be created using batch file, or PowerShell, or by using Commvault workflow. If you have one already scripted in PowerShell or Commvault workflow, then we would request to email a copy of the script to CorpVault, after taking out sensitive info, so we can help others in need. Let's continue. We have catalogued some Commvault services along with description and other info, like process name and its corresponding log file, on which CommCell component we see them, etc. These are on-demand processes that run on a media agent. These services applicable only to Unix. If you aren't aware, you can restart the Commvault services of a client, using the command line interface. For this to do, you need to download restart_client.xml file to the computer, from where you will run the command, and this server should have Commvault installed, as you need to run it from the base folder. You can put this content in a text file, and save as .xml to use it. The procedure to run the command is this. This has been useful to many server admins. Lastly, if you have multiple network interface cards on a server, you can bind Commvault services to a specific network interface card. By default, the system binds the services to all the available NICs. In a dual or multi-NIC setup, where you do not want Commvault services exposed on the public interface, you can bind all services to the specified interface name, or IP address. You can achieve this by adding additional setting, in other words, registry key called sbind to interface. After you add this key, ensure you stop and start the services for the key to take effect. We will end this video here. For more videos, please subscribe to our channel if not already done so. Thank you. Do subscribe for more videos.